At some point in this series of Prismacolor videos, I said I was going to have a working stash, a collecting stash, and a testing stash. But I already answered the question that I wanted to answer about is there a difference between the Prismacolors made in Mexico from the early tints to the Prismacolors made in Mexico from the current tints. I've been using them a lot. I've been using the 24 and the 36 from the old tin, and then the 24 and the 48 from the new tin, and I cannot tell a difference. I think that answer is yes. So I don't really need a testing stash. So I'm gonna move on now to just have the, I've got all of them here to the side. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 132 and it's gonna be my reference collection, if you will, one of each. And then I'll get from Blick the 18 that are in the 150. So one little exercise that I did today was figure out what are the Prismacolors that are in the 150 and not in the 132. There is a really good web page on the web that I've been using for the smaller sets, but sure enough, it's missing one color for when it says at the bottom, and I'll put the link in the description of this video. This person says, you know, these are the ones that are in the 12. Then when you go to the 24, these are the 12 new ones. You go to the 36, these are the 12 new ones. You go to the 48, 12 more, 72, 24 more, 132, whatever that is, and then 18 to 50, but there's only 17. And so I took the time to find the list that had them all 150, and sure enough, 103 Cerulean Blue is not on that list. And so this is the list, and I'm gonna put this in the description also of the video. I think this is also somewhere on Reddit, but anyways, I've got it. This is it. And so I went into Blick and made a list for the ones that are in 150 only, and at some point I'm gonna order them. Also at some point I want to order all the grays, and I made a mistake in the last video. Because it's not that there are 27, there aren't. All the grays are actually in the 132, and then when you go to 150, you just get a bunch of new colors that are not gray. So really, all the grays, there's really 18 grays, not 27. I made a mistake. And so the grays are all 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 90 of French cool and warm. That's what it is. So that's a correction. But I'm really glad that I figured this out. Also, I took the time to think through, now that I'm using a 48, what I do is that I use the 24, then I go to the 36, and I go to the 48, and that way I cycle through and I use my stash. I want to use my stash. Even though I want to collect a little, I'm really not gonna be the museum of Prismacolor. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna use these pencils a lot, and I am right now, and I'll show them later in this video. So what I figured out was that except for chartreuse, which is in the 48, where it's right here, chartreuse 989, which is in the 48, everything that I use a lot of is in the 24. Now, is that because that's what I have? I don't really know, but I know for a fact that I use these. And so I selected them and said, okay, this would be, and I put these in Blick. But then after I put it there, heavy use, something interesting happens, which is you can buy these 24s for like 60 cents a pencil on eBay. They're the older tin, they're this tin, and I've bought a couple more of these. And so actually I'm not gonna order my heavy use from Blick when I can just buy old 24s for as long as they're out there. And apparently they're out there, and apparently they're very cheap. Because I've been paying like between 60 and 70 cents a pencil for the 24s. So these are gonna be in my working stash, but they're gonna be basically my Blick order. And then at some point, I think I'm just gonna order 3 or 4 chartreuse when I get around to ordering the ones that are in the 150, not 132, because I'm not gonna get a 150 for a while. I'm pretty sure. I'm already grossly overspent on this business, and I love collecting, but there is a limit. So I think 360 Prismacolor pencils, I think it's enough. I think I'm gonna slow it down. So actually, I take it back. I actually have a 72 on the way from the old tins that I got at a really great price per pencil also. So yeah, so it works out that my heavy list is really 17 from the 24 and chartreuse from the 48. So I'm just gonna continue buying every now and then 24s and just keep them as backups. And actually, even though I sharpened this tin and I used it a little, I haven't really used it that much because, yeah, you see, now this is the tin that I used to test the Dali 133, and you can tell that when you sharpen the Dali 133 with the pointiest point, it really goes through your pencil a lot more. So I was like, I don't like that, and I don't need it to be so pointy, so that's fine. So now that I have it in the point that has like a little flat tip, it's great. It works out wonderful. So so that's that for that. And then what I'm also gonna do, so I want to show how I use my working stash. So how I use my working stash right now to color is I do in progression just for fun. I think I could just use the 48 and call it a day, but that's how I do things, and you may think it's crazy. Anyways, so I always start with my 24, then I move to the 36, and then I move to the 48. I just want to do it this way because it's fun. And when I get the 72, I plan to use the 72, even though it's old and it's going to have another lilac. This one has a lilac also. But what I'm going to do is take the old 48. I'm going to take the old 48, the old 72 that I have on order, and this one, and then find the best pencils that are in all. So there's going to be 48 pencils that are going to have 3 of each. I'll pick the best one and put it in here, and put the worst one in the 72. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it so that the 72 becomes part of my stash, and then yeah, I'll pick the best ones into here, but then the 48 and the 72 will be basically also open stock and also working stash. So really the collection will be this 132, and then a few sealed that I already have, and maybe a couple more sealed, but not that many, and that's for later, because I'm going a little too fast. So yeah, that's how I do it. 24, 36, 48 right now. And then I'll show these, and you can see that I've been using them pretty heavily. For some reason, the Tuscan Red always gets used a lot. So I showed these way back. Not way back, I think a week ago, and yeah, they've gotten a lot more use. And at some point soon, I think I'm gonna retire this one, but I think I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks until some of these pencils are a little smaller. So then for the 36, it's also getting a little use, but not as much as the 12. But look at that, again, Tuscan Red. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, because I use it to highlight a lot. Maybe it's my own style. And I have started using the white for burnishing, so actually the white's getting sharpened. And then in the case of the 48, I did switch it back and put the pencil where it belongs. And so these are getting used pretty well too. Yeah, these are getting used pretty well too. Lovingly used, including the cream. The cream's getting used a lot. Also the chartreuse. I'm using this chartreuse a lot, and also the lime peel, and the Tuscan Red again, and also the ginger root. Yeah. So that's where the combination of collecting and use is. No need for testing.